We're in the stretch. We're looking at the city council candidates. The first on the list is Rod DeBoer.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Monica, for inviting me. Last 4 years ago, I was invited. My wife and I were driving down the street. We got ran into by a pickup truck, so I didn't get to attend, but I did this time. I water. Thanks for being here tonight. I'll try to make this short. I've led the city through times of expansion and growth and an economic downturn, and now into what I believe will be one of the city's most exciting and prosperous decades. Promises can be made, but leadership is earned, and while many folks talk about creating economic opportunities and improving the quality of life, I have proven that I can get that job done. There are four major areas, not necessarily categorically speaking priority, that I deal with. One is effective leadership. I've been instrumental in putting together one of the most effective leadership teams in the city's history. The city is being run efficiently and professionally, and this means that we can provide you the services you want at the lowest possible cost. And that doesn't only mean my employees, but the fellow city council. I think we do a pretty good job. Crime and safety, that's a very important issue. The city is creating one of the most responsive law enforcement agencies in the region. And as a city council member, I will continue to provide them the necessary resources to be proactive in preventing criminal activity and arresting those that commit crimes against their neighbors. One of the unfortunate things we have in Lassen County, including the Sheriff's Department, is often in law enforcement a means to get into law enforcement and then move on to bigger and better things or different things because of the pay scale. They come in here, get a little experience, and they go back to where they live and make a lot more money. So that's one of the problems. What I'd like to do is recruit people from this area that want to live in this area and commit them to this area as police officers or working for the city and the Sheriff's Department. And we're working on that. I think that's in the program right now. Economic vitality. Our children and grandchildren deserve to have career opportunities waiting for them when they graduate from high school or college. By removing unnecessary steps in the development approval process, we have been and will continue to see additional retail and industrial opportunities being created all around us. These businesses not only allow hard-earned money to be reinvested here at home, they provide important employment opportunities for youth and adults who want to expand their business skills. We are a hard-working community, and I will lead the charge in our economy recovery. We are going to. We have new businesses coming in. We have expectations of new businesses coming in, and it's going to be good for the community and the economy. And for our kids to stay here. Quality of life. Leadership is self-created. An efficient organizational structure where city staff work together to get the job done. By cutting out the waste in city government, it has allowed us to pay our debt, bring in additional sources of funding from the state and federal government, and reinvest these dollars in your neighborhood. With my continued leadership, you will see increased street repair, completion of community parks, and new community facilities that you can be proud of. And yes, that includes the community swimming pool. We're working hard on that right now. I've got 2 guys on the city council and those in the city administration that are putting 100% into that project. And I hope to see it come around. For years, we have been told that it cannot be done. I have been on the city council, have proved that it can be done, and by re-electing me, I can promise you that we will continue on this progressive path and enjoy a bright and prosperous future.
One more minute.
Okay, good, just perfect. Okay. In the last 40 years, I have served in the United States Navy, including 2 tours in Vietnam. I have been an active member of the American Legion since 1979. I served for 36 years in actually 37 and a half years in law enforcement. I started in Sacramento, California, lived in Montana, and 20-some years here in Lassen County as a fraud investigator and deputy sheriff. I retired in 06 or 08 as a sergeant from the Sacramento County I've served, on the county council. There's a question, it's either 16 years or 19 years, and I think it's 19 years, or 16 years. The Lassen County Grand Jury for 2 years with Kay, which was kind of fun. It was good to see your face every once or twice a month. Okay. I've also been on the Lassen County, Lassen Family Services Board. I served on Board of Education in Montana. My alma mater is Sacramento College. I attended Sierra College. I love this community. I've been here for 25 years, and I'd just like to stay here and help you guys make it your home forever. It's peaceful and quiet and safe. Appreciate your vote. It is June 3rd or 7th. There we go, June 3rd. Got that? All right, thank you very
much. Next up is Joseph Franco.
Well, first of all, thank everybody for coming. It's a great opportunity to meet candidates, and I really enjoyed this myself, becoming familiar with the faces and the qualifications that the candidates bring. I'm running for Susanville City Council. I have worked for USDA Forest Service for 37 years. I'm currently as a timber sale contracting officer and support the logging industry, although it's dwindled in past years. Hopefully, it will continue to be a factor in managing our public lands. It's important to do so that we're not plagued with these wildfires that burn up the resource that we so passionately love. That's part of the reason why we live here. I'm married to my beautiful wife, Tana, and we're raising our 5.5-year-old granddaughter, which has got me back in touch with what it's like raising and I can relate to young families that are raising kids these days. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from Cal State Long Beach. I have served a 4-year term on the City Council, and it gives me a unique perspective in what the city needs, and as far as leadership and the role the City Councilman plays in making this city a better place to live. I served from 2008 to 2012, and it was difficult during those times because of the economic downturn that we were experiencing, and it seemed like everything, all the energy was spent in keeping us from going bankrupt. And I wasn't re-elected, and I feel like I have some unfinished business to complete, and would appreciate another chance. I think that the city is doing a great job in delivering city services with limited budgets. I think we have the opportunity with good leadership that we currently have. We're efficiently organized with the current staff that's in place to deliver city services at a lower cost. There's plans to build a pool, which I think is tremendous, and I really applaud the City Council for taking that ball and going with it. I think that's what we need to get it done. The budget's been designed to deliver essential services through stable revenue streams. I think that's really, really smart. And the one-time revenue opportunities can be spent in community investment projects, such as improving the infrastructure, improving existing parks, and developing new parks, plans to upgrade the Susan River corridor, and other items that are important to the citizens of Susanville, which I think is really, really key, that we listen to the citizens of Susanville and try to deliver what we can as far as what they want, because that's what it's all about, is serving the community. Currently, I've recognized or am aware of a rise in crime. I think the police department has done a really good job in being active in addressing the recent rise in burglaries, and I think that's commendable. I believe the police need a presence in our high school, and I understand that that's planned for the future. I'd like to see an aggressive approach to dealing with the meth epidemic. It's been mentioned several times tonight, and it's so common in today's society, and we need to deal with that issue and try to get a handle on it. We need to strive for a professional police department that is proactive, able to outreach in the community, is well-funded, which I want to underline because I think that's really important for them to be effective, and try to make this city a safer place for our law-abiding citizens. Another issue I'm seeing locally here is the homeless problem. It seems like there are a lot more homeless people than we've had in the past. And with that comes drug abuse, alcohol abuse, petty crime, and then the unsightly homeless shelters that you find along the Susan River corridor. A lot of it revolves around Crossroads, and I don't want to diss Crossroads because I think that they're compassionate people and do a great service for those in need. But we need to have strict ordinances with funding for the PD to enforce those ordinances to discourage unlawful activity. Economic development, I see a surge in the economic vitality here in Susanville. Many new businesses are opening up to create those jobs that will help our younger folks coming out of high school to stay here and be employed so they can go to college. It's a cheap way of getting 2 years of education here at our local colleges, and we should do whatever we can to support that. Uptown growth is happening slowly. I think it's important that the city support property owners to try to improve their properties to make them more leasable so that people come in that want to open businesses don't have to upgrade the businesses, the buildings, that they're upgraded and they're easier to move into new business. I'd like another chance to serve the city. I think I'm qualified to do so, and I'm passionate about the work the City Council does. I think it's really, really important that we connect with the constituents to know what they want. I think we should send out flyers. You should tell us what you want, and I think we should do everything we can to support that and to deliver, because I think that's why we're there. Thank you very much.
David French. Podium is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Monacola Club. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, everybody. My name's David French. I'm a candidate for the Susanville City Council. Before I get started, I'm fourth generation Lassen County. My wife is here. We've been married 46 years. She was my high school sweetheart here in Lassen County. I'm a graduate from Lassen High School, a graduate from Lassen College. We left here. I am a graduate of Nevada Highway Patrol Academy. I went on from the Nevada Highway Patrol Academy to the Treasury Academy in Glencoe, Georgia, Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. I worked through the Highway Patrol, went plain clothes, worked myself up from investigator to supervising investigator to chief investigator for the state of Nevada Bureau of Enforcement. My last 6 years, the state thought I had something to offer, so they sent me to the National Judicial College at UNR. I graduated and I'm now an alumni. I finished up my career as an administrative law judge with the state of Nevada. We moved back to Susanville. We continued our activities. We still have lots of relatives here. I am a 45-year member of the Susanville Elks Lodge. And I just achieved one of my lifelong goals. I'm in lifetime membership now with the Elks. I'm an officer there. I'm a director on the Susanville Sanitation District, my second term. I'm the vice president of Lassen High School Alumni Association. And this is the best part, I'm a member of the Diamond Mountain Men's Golf Club. So. I'd have something in there. The reason I'm running is I had a lot of support from friends and membership or family that said it's time for some changes, and it is. The first thing that I will tell you is, if elected to the City Council, my first goal is public safety. Our law enforcement is really down. We've heard comments, they do a good job, but boy, the crime rate is just absolutely terrible. And I don't know what the old statement was, if you're in trouble, you need help immediately, the police is 5 minutes behind. And we need to do something about that. The other is economic development. I drive up and down Main Street and it just breaks my heart. I grew up here in Susanville, and uptown Main Street was really something. That was the place to be. And I don't like seeing the boarded up buildings. We need to entice industry, I understand that. We need some type of light industry in this community. It will help the whole community. One of the biggest things that I see, and I'll just give this as one proposal that I would have, is we need to attract visitors as well. We have a museum. I don't know how many of you have ever been to our museum, but it's a beautiful place, and it tells you the history of Susanville and Lassen County. The problem is, you only see a partial of what it has to offer, because we don't have room to supply everything that this community in Lassen County has to offer. Somehow I'd like to move that to Main Street, attract visitors, show them what we have to offer, show them where we were, where we came from, and what we're going to be. I see down at Main and Ash Street, the Indian Casino has an information station. Susanville should have the same. In my mind, the Chamber of Commerce should be located on the Main Street of Susanville with a sign, an attractive sign that brings tourists in to show what our community has to offer. Maybe it may entice industry. I don't know, but we need something to attract them in, and I think that would be probably one of the best things that we can do at a low cost. Other than that, I would like to be your next Susanville council member, sorry. And if on June 3rd, if you would vote for me, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up is Alan Dowdy.
Thank you, Kay. Thank you, Monaco Club. Thank you, audience. My name's Alan Dowdy. I've been here in Susanville for 27 years. Been actively involved in the community for 27 years. I come today to run for the city council and ask for your vote. Not because I have a personal agenda, but because I love this community and I think I can make it stronger. It is my intention to devote my time, my expertise, and to preserve and improve the city of Susanville as a great place to live and raise families. My wife, Alicia, and I have resided in Susanville for 27 years. We deeply care for the community. We have enjoyed raising our 3 children here. After retiring from the Department of Corrections, I received 2 degrees in accounting and business management. I ran the oil changer. I was a service manager at 2 dealerships. And I currently work for the Susanville Indian Ranchery as a staff accountant. As I said a minute ago, I have 27 years of experience of service in this community. It includes working with, serving as a board member on the Lassen County Mental Health Board, working with our Lassen County Mental Health Department and other agencies to improve the services for those who have that need. I was a commissioner for the Susanville Utilities Commission, which I don't think the board is still there, but during that time I proposed the idea of bringing natural gas to Susanville, which come to fruition, and I think has been a good thing for the city. I served as the president of Susanville Little League. While serving as the president of Little League, I saw a need to improve the safety of the fields down there, installed new lights, installed new fencing on two of the 4 fields down there. I developed a t-ball field down there, which has been great for the kids. I enjoy going down and watching the little guys play. And so I serve on as a vice president of Lassen High football boosters. I take pride in our football team here, and you see me every Friday night on the sidelines. Presently, I serve as the vice chair of the Susanville Planning Commission. And a meeting here back in November is when I decided that there was a need to serve. We were dealing with an issue on one of our streets here in Susanville, and I just felt that I need to help find a way to get this negative element out of Susanville. We deserve better than having this element that's not here. You know, these kids that are participating in this negative element are local kids. They're not kids from the outside. They're our kids. And I have worked with the youth, and we need to continue to work with the youth. That's one of the issues that I would like to see is we have a stake in the health and welfare of our youth, and we can work together to do this, to better our kids, to make them better. Because if we make them better, we won't have that element here.
One more minute.
Thank you. The other one's the economy. I think that we need to work on economic development. Public safety, again, I wish to work with law enforcement to make this a better place to live. The other issue I see is lack of communication between government agencies. That's one of the things I'd work with, is to better get that so that we all work together for one common goal, and that's to better this community. City appearance has been talked about, right down Main Street, boarded up buildings and such. We need to take care of that. If elected to the City Council, I promise to recognize that it is the citizens who have the seat on the council, not just me. Your interests and concerns will be acknowledged, considered, and represented. Be assured that you will have my dedicated commitment, and I thank you for your support and ask for your vote. Thank you.
The next name on the list is Kathy Gardier, and I don't believe that she is present. So we're going to go down to Chris Cole, who is here.
Thank you. My name is Chris Cole, and I'm running for City Council. I'd like to thank the Mauna Koa Club for hosting this exercise in democracy. I also will be hosting the Republican gathering, forum gathering May 1st, I believe. I invite all the candidates to that event. I'd like to thank the Mauna Koa Club in my capacity as president of the Board of Trustees of the library. You were instrumental in creating the library. You've changed lives, and next year we celebrate 100 years of service to the Lassen community, so thank you very much. I guess I should be flattered. I'm the recipient of the first anonymous flyer that's gone out in Susanville that references a candidate for Susanville City Council that resides in a motel. That would be me. 12 years ago, under sad circumstances, I became a single father of a young son. I had to leave my position. It was a bit overwhelming, and I prayed for an opportunity to work at a place where I could also raise my son. And my prayers were answered. I became the resident manager of the River Inn, worked for some great people in a great community. I've been there 10.5 years. It is that unique perspective of living not only on Main Street, but 5 feet from Main Street, that helps me identify some of the crises that we face and the challenges that we face as a community. I've had the opportunity to house people that are moving into our community with their U-Hauls and what their dreams and hopes are for our community. I've had the opportunity to host people that are moving out of our community and what their disappointments were. And every year, year after year, I've hosted thousands of tourists, and they've told me what works for Susanville and why they're attracted. And it's a unique perspective, but we all know, make no mistake about it, that we do have a public safety issue. Our great paper, Lassen County Times, is filled now with headlines of murders and rapes and assaults. It usually is filled with weddings and sports events, and we've got to change that. We've got to create a message to the criminals that victimize our young people and our seniors and our businesses and our tourists, that they need to be driven out of town and put in jail. When we do that, we face that challenge of public safety. When we do that, we can solve our second problem, that's increasing our economy, creating economic opportunities, perhaps through entrepreneurs or new businesses. In a small community, really 1 or 2 entrepreneurs or businesses can change the economic livelihood of our community, create 50, 100 jobs. But we need to We're challenged, and we need to use Susanville's most important asset, and that's its people. Time and time again, when we've had a spaghetti feast for people that are sick, or someone's house is burned down, this community comes together, and we need to tap that. We need to create neighborhood watch programs. We need to do community liaison with our police. We need more police officers. Chief Downing needs more men. He is, and women. We are challenged. We need to do that because when we do, we'll create more jobs and we'll be more attractive to our community. But I really like to move this city forward. We do face a crime issue. I want to be proactive with the community and in creating maybe a more effective tourist boards. I had the chance to house some people from a movie location company 2 years ago. They were doing the Will Smith movie. It was a bomb, but they went up to Siskiyou County and spent millions of dollars for set location there. We can do that. I asked the gentleman in the morning, I said, what do you think of Susanville? He said, it's great, we could have filmed up here. That would have millions of dollars. Millions of dollars. You know, we've got some wonderful candidates. We need some new faces and we need some new ideas. That's abundantly clear. And we need to embrace women. We have some wonderful women now as candidates this year. That's a first for Lassen County, in my opinion. We need to embrace them and we need to move this community forward. And I tend to do that. We have a disconnect between city and county government. We have so much great people in the city, but on the county, they wanted to build a $500,000 new Board of Supervisors room because the chairs weren't comfortable and they weren't attractive. Our elected officials should not be in comfortable chairs. They should be out advocating for the city and working for the residents that need. And I will do that. I will visit every single business in this community. I will ask them what we do right and what we do wrong, and I intend to move this city forward if elected. So thanks, folks.
Sherry Ann Neff.
Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you everybody for coming tonight, for participating and showing your concern and your care for our community. My name is Sherry Neff. I am running for City Council member also. I would really like to be able to give back to our community. We have a community that I was born here. My grandparents lived here my whole life. I've been back for 9 years, and my husband and I have 2 grown sons that live here, and we love where we are. We love our community. I am an avid hunter. Part of my hope for our community is we don't lose our personality. So as much as we need to grow, we also need to keep some of what makes us unique and makes us Northern California. The crime is definitely a problem. We need more officers, yes, but we need staying power with those that we have. Had a situation not too long ago, a young man was telling me how his community, his little neighborhood was better because every time he had an issue, he called, the officers showed. And they showed and they would drive around several times for a couple days. Well, the type of people who are dealing meth, they don't want to see officers. And those who want to come to buy their meth, they don't want to see officers. Overall, through shootings, they were shooting BB guns at the dogs and the animals. Those people left that neighborhood. They moved away, and that officer made a huge difference to those young men. They felt like their concerns and their well-being was worth this guy's energy, effort, and time. If he gets another job, a higher pay, down south, and he's gone tomorrow, all of that is gone. It's useless. Those young men now have to build that rapport with someone else that we bring in. So I not only want us to have more officers, I want us to give Downing, the Chief Downing, the ability to keep those that he has, to be able to recruit, but to have the long term, to have people that stay. recruiting out of our community. I have been a volunteer my entire life in one fashion or another for different organizations. One of the best I've ever seen to help our youth want to become officers was called the Police Activities League. The area that I was in at the time when I was volunteering for them had young men that were starting out having problems in school. Then it was after school. They came in and got to deal one-on-one with sheriff's deputies and city PD, learning boxing and karate, learning things that these young men really wanted to learn, but in a very safe place, in a very mature manner, in a very calm atmosphere, and getting to know and trust these officers that they would work out with, that they would compete. These officers had them at such a good standing within that system, they would compete from golden gloves, silver gloves, and it was a really good service, and it worked. And so I don't know if Susanville is interested in that, but it is those types of experiences that I believe I can bring to our community. I volunteered for a lot of small businesses. Why? Because it's a shame they don't make it. There is so much taxation, so much red tape paperwork, that it is hard for them to stay alive.
One more minute.
Thank you. Overall, I really want to give back to our community. I know that I believe I can be a quality representative for all of you. I would love to see your vote June 3rd. And one thing Stacey Montgomery said to me tonight, or to all of us tonight, that really made a mark on my heart, is that our Constitution is what we have. That is our strength. That is our courage, our foundation. And I, too, would do all in my power to make sure that that was the basis that I would stand for everybody. Thank you very much.
Believe it or not, we're finished. I hope you enjoyed the evening. It's still early enough that you can get a nice dinner at the pub, one of our newer businesses in town. Thank heavens, thank heavens. We have a good restaurant. We also have a nice Italian restaurant. We're coming along. It's slow, but everybody has to help make it Susanville super. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Frank.
I've seen the microphone. What's his face with Robert
She said 1 minute. She made me lose my place.
I have so many questions.
I know.